And good morning, everyone. It is 9:43 on this Wednesday. I'm wave meteorologist Brian Good. Welcome to StormTALK today. Sorry, I feel like my voice is kind of that raspy kind of voice here today. Sorry about that. You guys have been battling allergies because I certainly felt like I have as of late. Grass pollen. I did mow the grass yesterday. Probably should be the person that is least likely to mow the grass, considering how bad my allergies are. But, got to do it. And hopefully you're getting some of that yard work done because it's not only a stormy setup at times coming away, but the humidity is going to get high the next few days. And we've been spoiled. This has actually been a decent pattern here the past couple of days for us here in Wave Country, but it is about to change. And then, of course, we got the weekend outlook. We're going to cover that. The latest on the storm. Typing as well. Was that loud, Snickerdoodle? Sorry about that. I didn't mean to be loud. So I know the first couple of words I usually say on the blog are really loud and it overmodulates. I don't know why that is. I promise it's not on purpose. I promise. We got the weekend to cover, and we've got Beyonce. I still got to talk to her about the weather setup, but that's of course Monday night. Who's going? I'm just curious. Out of all of you that are watching, who's headed to the concert, I think it's going to be a jam-packed setup, and we do have a rain chance. I don't think it's anything major, but we do have a rain chance that we'll cover on that here in just a second. All right, let's get you started on how things are looking on the storm potential. Certainly the threats and timing are the biggest issue as we head through today. It's a marginal risk, a low-end severe risk as we head into really later tonight, overnight. And then Thursday, it's still a marginal risk, but I think that may change for some of our counties. I'll explain. And then Friday does look to be a calmer day. There's good data support on that. So hold on one second. I get rid of the spammer. All right. I got him. So that's good. I think this up and down pattern on the storm chance is still showing up. I'll go ahead and tell you now. Friday and Sunday are the least stormy looking days at the moment. Everything else is on the table for active weather. All right. So Friday and Sunday are staying out still to be fairly quiet. So let me show you the latest view from space looking down. And every time I say that, I always get picked on. They're like, Brian, if you're in space, you don't see the city names and interstate labels. I love sarcasm. But you get the idea. There's no cloud cover now, but we will get some cumulus that will begin to pop roughly in about 90 minutes. We should start seeing them begin to develop. Takes a little bit of time to heat the ground up, and then when the air rises, then they start to form. We've seen that the past few days, and we will see it again later. Meanwhile, to the northwest, nasty thunderstorms. Now, this is an MCS. If you've heard me mention this several times about MCSs and how they're complexes of storms, what do they look like? This is what they look like. It's on the radar now, producing a strong wind event that is unfolding there into Iowa, heading into Illinois. Yikes. Chicago, once again, may get impacted too by this. And Chicago's been hit hard lately with some active weather and flooding. Storms this round will pass just south of the city, but they may get some flooding issues from this as it passes on by. This complex of storms will continue to track to the southeast. However, it will actually begin to lose the precipitation side of it. So it'll be just a little belt of wind that moves into Indiana. But this will eventually be the likely trigger that will try to fire some storms in about, I would say, 20 hours from now. So we got some time on that. Meanwhile, there is a tail to this system that is already moving into northern Missouri. That is going to fire up in about, I would say, 6 to 7 hours from now. And that will become a bigger wind event for Missouri that will track into near the Ozarks for later on this afternoon. But our piece is up here in Iowa. And again, it will begin to look different as it moves toward wave country. You can already see the humidity, the moisture field increasing. We've been in that dry pocket over Kentucky. We're losing that now as we're getting a little more of what we call a return flow back into the Ohio Valley. You see that moisture. Look at that creeping up there, like cue the Jaws theme here, right? It's moving right into Arkansas, into the Ozarks. And there's also a moisture belt right along the actual front too, along the north. But the storms are going to fade as they move into Illinois and Indiana later, because you notice you don't have as much of a darker green showing up all the way to our area. It'll actually run out of fuel. As I always say, try to picture the game of Pac-Man, and this thing's trying to gobble up as much as it can, but it does lose some steam there. Your severe risk today is an enhanced risk, not here, but for that wind belt that is moving across Iowa right now for the MCS. And then is a slight risk all the way down to Evansville and around Indianapolis, and then it fades out here. Now, much of this is probably a combination of the wave trying to form later tonight, moving in toward sunrise is where I think the majority of this risk for our area is showing up. I do think they're probably going to end up issuing it. You can't see my pen because it's yellow. Kind of defeats the purpose, right? There will likely be, I think, an enhanced across central Missouri later once that second round gets going. They don't really have it drawn here yet, but I got a feeling that will probably change. But the worst of it is what I'm trying to say for the next 20 hours is going to be Missouri and Illinois and Iowa. Indiana and Kentucky have a much lower threat on that idea. So the outlook for Thursday. Now, this one's going to be a bit more of a pain tomorrow because the wind belt will actually be gliding across the Ohio Valley. So it will be stronger in Ohio tomorrow, but it will have a tail that goes right down to the Ohio River. So tomorrow is actually a two-part ordeal. Tomorrow morning for sunrise, there is a chance for some downpours in the area. I do not see severe weather right now being a huge concern tomorrow morning. I think the biggest concern tomorrow morning is the rainfall rate, which will be nearly 2 inches per hour for anything that forms tomorrow morning. So I don't think it's going to be a ton of coverage, but if it ends up impacting the morning commute near the city of Louisville, just be aware of that. It's going to be some very heavy tropical-like downpours tomorrow morning. Once we get past tomorrow morning's round, the question is, will that tail portion of the wind belt that moves across the Ohio River Valley, will that fire up Thursday afternoon and evening? It's a good question. The data is still not great on answering that. It is more confident on Ohio firing up, which is the reason why the Storm Prediction Center put the slight risk there, as confidence is much higher that it will fire. It's a little more uncertain here. So if we, unfortunately, we're going to have to wait until tomorrow morning to see how much activity we have on the radar tomorrow. That will give us the answer we need for later tomorrow afternoon. I don't like last minute stuff. I feel your pain on that. And it's the reason why, too, we've been trying to go back and forth on alert day status or not, because we just don't know yet if it'll fire. And we really don't want you guys to worry too much if things end up being much calmer than expected. And I can't rule that out. But if it does look like it will fire, no doubt the slight risk will be drawn all the way down, I would say, to about Meade County. That looks to be the wind belt potential. That decision could be made as early as about 1:30 this afternoon, but I think it's going to be more tomorrow if they're going to make that decision. Okay, so just stay close to our forecast updates. If we see a trend on this where it looks like the morning round will not be as aggressive, and therefore the afternoon round could be. We will let you know, certainly, as we get into the afternoon newscast. Okay, so that's tomorrow's outlook. I'm going to stop there on the severe potential right now on the maps, because after that point, it gets a little more wishy-washy, and I'll kind of explain on the future cast in a second. Let me walk you through our short term on the high res. Today, we're good. You're just going to notice it's going to be a hotter day today. It's going to be a little more humid. Okay, you're going to feel that today. Here come the showers and storms racing across Iowa and Illinois. Notice you don't see much happening on the eastern side that is diving down. The one that's in Iowa now, this is actually it right through here. There's nothing left. So again, the precipitation part of it falls apart. Here's Missouri's show lighting up into the Ozarks, producing what I think will be a more of a high wind threat for them. And then here we go tomorrow morning. This is going to be roughly 4:30, give or take. And you see some downpours try to form right there over us tomorrow morning. It just doesn't show a lot of activity. It just hints at it. So we'll see how that plays out early in the day on Thursday. And then tomorrow afternoon, look at Ohio. Ooh, boy, that looks nasty. That's an MCS. And that could be actually supercells that form into an MCS. So Ohio could actually find themselves into a higher threat than even a slight risk. If you're traveling to Keenes Allen tomorrow, stay close to the forecast updates, because it could be a rocking and a rolling there fairly quick around lunch as we get into Mason, Ohio. Now, here's the tail portion right through here. Do we get that or not? It looks hot. The potential is there to go above 90. It's tougher to do on a very humid day like this, but there's a growing support to get us above 90 for a couple hours as we head into Thursday. So even if they were not to pop in severe potential, they would have very heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning with them. And here we go tomorrow evening. You can see that it still tries to connect on the tail end here. It's struggling, but it's trying to, because this is no doubt going to be the lead wave. It's going to try to steal all the attention, certainly, but we are open game. And what I mean by that is that the way we are placed here in Kentucky, especially in Kentucky versus Indiana, we have much more of the moisture grab being pulled into central Kentucky. There's no storm complex south of us to rob us of that. So we are fair game for anything to fire as we get into Thursday afternoon, just like Ohio will be. But they have more of a wind field to work with, if that all makes sense. So all the ingredients are there. They're just not stacked up perfectly like a hamburger or cheeseburger, right? They are a little more scattered in how they're placed, but each one of those factors can lead to warnings. That will fade out. We may have some showers and storms into Thursday night and early Friday. That is possible. But Friday, there is another MCS, but it looks ominous here. But I'm seeing on a lot of modeling here that it will likely head toward Nashville. It could still graze some of you south of Louisville, say Adair County, Hart County, Butler, Grayson. That's possible. I don't want to say no, it's not going to happen, but it likely will dive more southeast than due east. So that should give us a little bit of a break as we head into your Friday. So I'm hoping that's the case. We'll be watching as we head to the next 24 hours. So to recap, just for Thursday and Friday, chance of showers and downpours Thursday morning, chance of storms Thursday afternoon, some of which could be severe. Downpours may linger into Friday morning. And then Friday afternoon, the threat is more south and west. Fun, right? Okay. Once we get past that, we enter the weekend. Now, somebody, I was mentioning that your gardener is excited about this. Yeah, everyone's excited that we're getting rainfall, but we could get too much of it. With rainfall rates of 2 inches per hour, you can get flash flooding easily. They will at least be moving. That's good. But if you get multiple rounds, you could be really adding up on the rain total. So if you have a creek or a stream nearby, just make sure you're keeping a close eye to the weather setup, all right, in case we get any flash flood warnings. Saturday does look active. Now, the timing on Saturday, I still can't nail down for you guys yet, because it is, once again, going to be triggered by anything in the morning and how much heating we get Saturday afternoon. But we do have a wind belt in the area. We have a trigger. We have a lot of moisture. So we have everything lined up. We have the whole cheeseburger here as we head into Saturday. So I do think Saturday is going to feature an active radar. I just don't know yet how intense they will be. Those will roll on through. Then as we head into Sunday, almost every piece of modeling I've looked at is really quiet on Sunday. So I like seeing that. That's a good sign. I'm hoping that it will hold so we don't have to worry about storms for the whole weekend. But if you have plans on Saturday and you're able to, especially an outdoor event, If you're able to slide it more into Sunday, your odds are better to avoiding the weather drama if you do that. Still, you can try for Saturday, but you're taking a risk that your plans may get interrupted. You don't have to get to shelter there as they move on by. But Sunday looks better. We get into Monday. Another front moves in. The timing of this front is crucial because, once again, the parent low is up here in the Great Lakes, and then your front or your tail will move through the Ohio Valley. Timing of that, it's going to be close to concert time for Monday night. However, it doesn't look widespread. It looks very blotchy. So that may work in our favor. It could be scattered enough to where there's no guarantee it's going to be at L&N Stadium, but there's a chance. So we're watching Monday carefully. It's worth mentioning after this, for Tuesday into Wednesday next week, I am seeing already a severe signal showing up. This one is probably going to cause us some headaches into early next week. We got plenty of time to worry about this, but it's a busy pattern. It's a busy pattern. You're mixed in with 90-degree temperatures, high dew points. I mean, you're going to be dealing with humid air at night. In the city of Louisville, at times, the next few nights may not even drop very much below 80 for overnight lows. Yuck. That's nasty stuff. We haven't really faced that too often this season. So this is going to be a little bit of an adjustment. Some of you love that stuff. You love the muggy air hanging out outside at night. Some of you love that. The bugs certainly do. They're going to be flying around like crazy. But it will lead to, at times, rounds of storms that could be locally strong or severe. All right, so that's where we stand as we head into the next few days, all the way into Tuesday and Wednesday. Yesterday I was saying that the modeling was trying to give us some hope of trying to cut down the storm machine and build in the heat dome back in the area. Euro, which was more aggressive with the idea of cutting down the storm machine and increasing the heat, has flipped narratives with the GFS. The GFS now wants to build the heat. In fact, it's trying to get us over 100 for several days to close out July. And that's the GFS. Not buying that. It's tough to get to even 95 with a very green environment that we have right now. A lot of humidity. It's tough to do. So I'm not buying those kind of numbers. But I do think the potential is there to get a few days at 90 to 93 in that particular range. But if the Euro is right, we may stay in the stormy pattern all the way through the end of the month there. So there you go. That's where we stand on the storm setup. I was telling Tawana a few minutes ago, I miss snow so much right now. I miss it. Ashley, how you doing, Ashley? The fair, which fair is that? I know a lot of county fairs are going on. I know is Indianapolis taking place here soon? There's Indy, and I know we have Bullitt County. I think you guys already had your fair. So let me know. But the last day is Saturday. Yeah, Saturday actually is going to be the kind of the rough day. Hardin County. Thank you, Ashley. Appreciate that. Hardin County. You will have to deal with some storms, it looks like, on Saturday. I just don't know the timing on that. It won't be all day. But you could have more than one. So that's why I want to at least mention that. Paul, my garden needs a good rain. Well, you're probably going to get it. My yard looks like a rainforest at the moment. And I have flooding issues. I talk about this a lot. So the other day, Michelle, my smaller red ear slider, and then Gary, the larger red ear slider, were just swimming through my yard. Like they just struck gold and got a new pond. So they were enjoying it, swimming out there. So I kind of laughed at that. All right, got a lot of bots people. Yay. Kendra, come on. You know you love snow. You know you do. Brandon, all about snow. I know you snow lovers are in there. Shonda, are those numbers for the 100-degree temperature, is that heat index or actual temperature? That is a good point. That was actual numbers that the GFS was showing. Again, I'm not buying it, but could it feel like that for heat index? Yeah, it could. It's quite humid of an air mass coming our way. Let's see. Carla got an outdoor concert at Riverbend coming up on Saturday. Hopefully no bad weather. Hope not, but be ready for storms that could roll through. Again, Sunday looks harder than Saturday. Dan, is there a good place to look at 7-day rain totals? It depends. I mean, there's a lot of model sites that will give you their interpretation of rainfall totals. They're going to change, though, in some cases about every 6 hours. They will change. So you're going to see some variations because it doesn't line up the storms in the same spot every time. So you can go from a 3/4 inch rain total, and the next model comes in and it's like 7 inches of rain showing up. So it can be quite dramatic. Weather Prediction Center, which is WPC, trying to smooth out that idea and does a 7-day total. So that is available online if you need to check it out. But theirs is 12-hour updates, I believe. Sarah, can't wait for snow. Counting down to days till winter. Me too. Me too. Well, how bad is it going to be? I got a grandbaby. First birthday party. I remember my first birthday party. It's going to be in English, Indiana there. There will be a chance for storms there as we head into Saturday. I think that's what you're referring to. I don't think you said the day, though, Viola. I'm sorry. For the birthday party. If it's Saturday, there will be a chance of storm. Sunday, again, looks better. Looks better. Renee, I was hoping for more snow than we had last winter. Winter was only, 3 days right before Christmas last year. I mean, it was severe. It did so much damage to our area with our plants. This is a pretty wild-looking El Nino pattern for the winter. If this pattern does not break, I haven't talked much about it because I'm waiting until we get past the stormy weather, and then I will give you guys some of the first rounds of data on winter. I usually do that in summer. It's always fun to look at it, right? But I will at least give you all hints that you're here and joining me this morning. I'll just go ahead and share the details. It is coming in colder. It is coming in colder. I just don't know yet if it's colder and dry yet or colder and more active. El Nino winters, we haven't had one in a while as far as an intense one like this. So the ones we've had in the past were in the 90s. And you guys remember the snow events of the 90s. So El Nino can be a big player sometimes for snow events here. We'll see how it plays out. Hey, Bill, hope you're doing well. Stargazing program Friday night. Clear sky between 9 and about 11:30. That will be tough, Bill, because we will have some storms to our southwest, the ones that race across Missouri and head toward Nashville. While they may not impact us, the flow from storms that when they track this way from Missouri into Tennessee, the flow aloft is going to be strong, so it'll rip the cirrus clouds off of them and overspread Kentucky. So I'm not sure how thick the cloud cover will be, but I think it will be enough, more than likely, to limit some of the viewing there. It just depends on how fast those develop and move. And again, the clouds just kind of blow off and move our way. But that's the only issue you got to watch for. I don't think we're going to have much of a worry on rain, but I think you could have a worry there on a cloud shield because of the storms to the south. Let's see. Doug, question for you. Got a lightning alert on a weather station this morning. Anything you think solar storm related? No, there's no solar storm or northern lights right now. It's actually very quiet in the ionosphere right now. So we don't really have much going on. There was a story that came out a few days ago that there was a big storm coming in northern lights, and it turned out it was incorrect. The news agency that put it out had the wrong data, and that got shared like crazy. And no one bothered to really check it for a while. But once they did, I realized, wait a minute, something's wrong here. So no, there is no storm. So I'm not sure why you get a lightning detector, though. That's interesting. Dan, WPC, previous 9 days. No, not previous. That's what you're referring to. I'm sorry. Louisville's website, Weather Service, does have a climate page for records that you can look at for just certain sites like Louisville, Fort Knox. I'm not sure if you'll get E-Town, but Louisville for sure you'll have on there. You can get 7-day totals. I believe our 7-day total was going to be roughly about, I would say, 1.5 to 2 inches, I believe was what Louisville will likely show. I got my rain total from my rain gauge. My summary report came in for June, and it came in at 8 inches of rain in June, which is pretty wild. All right, one more question, then I have to get ready to go here. How about Thursday night, JP, for the Little Feat concert? You will have to deal with some showers and storms lingering Thursday night. I just don't know about the coverage, but it does look cloudy, and it will be quite humid. But the storm coverage is going to be spotty Thursday night. It just depends on how active Thursday afternoon is. The quicker we can get storms to fire and hit our area, it will cause a little more of a stability period afterwards. So the timing on that is a little iffy right now. So, oh, sorry about that, Dan. Your gauge is broken there. All right, guys, I'm going to run and get ready. The new data is rolling in for the midday period, so I can look at it and see if there's any changes on timing for later tonight. I'm going to keep an eye on that storm complex moving through Iowa because it is pretty intense. and we'll see how that evolves as we do later on for tonight. All right. I'll see you guys soon. Coming up on midday. Don't forget, we also have a blood drive today at Oxmoor Center there. Kevin Harnett is going to be out there starting this afternoon live. So again, 12:30 to 6:30, head over to Oxmoor and help donate some blood for a good cause. Something to be positive for the community, and it will be nice and dry. So you'll have some time to do that, hopefully on your lunch break. All right, guys, see you soon. Take care. Try to stay cool.